Hi guys, Red Dog here again from REDDOG.TV. I wanted to introduce part 2 of our interview with Nexzil, the NSL Invitational Cup champions, going to Germany to face Archaea on April 12th. Please enjoy the second part of the interview and I'll catch you after that with some more info.
So moving on to the final part of this interview, we wanted to ask a few questions and kind of dive into that monster of a match that you had with Sonneman in the semifinals.
And the place obviously to start is whether or not you guys thought at the beginning of this tournament, whether you kind of assumed you were going to get to that point, or if you were anticipating more struggle than you ran up against.
Most of it went according to, what I believe this team was ready for. Because, I've kind of taken over the position as the team organizer and team leader in terms of, off the field, making sure everybody's here, everybody's kind of fitting well together. And, as the last month has gone on, we've had good weekends, we've had periods of good and bad weeks, but it's just kind of all came together slowly into a team that's, yeah, at the start of that tournament, I believe that we had a great shot. As long as, the good teams who we didn't want to play against, namely ARC, won their matches in the projected theories that we could have, we would get really, really far and potentially go to Germany, which eventually has happened.
And how far before the tournament started, were you prepared to say we're ready for this? How long before the tournament? Was it the day before, or were you ready a week and a half before, 2 weeks before?
Well, I would say for the first 3 weeks prior to that, I didn't think we were going to be quite ready, and we might be able to beat most of the teams, but maybe not the high levels of the European area. Because actually, the week before that, Versal, you remember we had bad practice. It was really bad.
We've always had a very successful standard play for what we always do. I think a lot of the reason that maybe things didn't go so well the weekend prior was we were trying some different things. We were trying to see if we could mix up our gameplay a little bit, maybe work in some new stuff, and it just wasn't working out. And I think an important thing to take away from practice is when you are scrimming other teams is to not get upset when you lose. Losing is it's really an opportunity to figure out why your gameplay isn't working. If you're constantly winning, then you're not really learning anything. You kind of ride this high where you think that what you're doing is completely correct and it's awesome because you just want to scrim. What you'll find is that you'll make mistakes when it counts in tournaments, and you won't know how to deal with it. You won't know what happened. You don't know how to fix problems. You won't know how to diagnose the situation and come up with strategies because you won't be trying things to push yourself. And that's, I think, a lot of what happened last weekend.
That's a very good point. I mean, so if like you said, if you keep winning and you're always holding on to your two bases, you never lose a base or whatever, and then you fight a team and boom, that phase gate goes, and you've never really lost a phase gate in that section of the map or lost a base in that section of the map. You're right. I guess you're gonna be stuck at that point.
So heading into that match against Sonneman, it was best of 7, and you wound up playing Marines first on every single map you played. So did you feel that momentum had something to do with the fact that you guys kept trading rounds, that every single time it went win, lose, and they never switched that up?
I think the real reason that we kept losing aliens is just, in my theory, that the way that Sonneman plays, we just never ran into very much, and their skill of Marines was something that we hadn't seen very often. It was early shotguns, phase gates, which most teams have always gone for the upgrades instead of mass phase gate pushes. And, it was just, I think the real pressure in those games came from is we had always assumed that our alien game was great. And it usually was. It was pretty flawless alien play. But every time, we'd start up that alien run, it's like, all right, guys, let's finally take it to them. Let's get to this. Let's show them how it's done. And then it just kind of fizzles apart because of small mistakes here and there made. And I don't think it was a momentum issue. We were super confident. Once we established that first Marine game, we were like, all right, we can win these Marine games easy. We need to take an alien game.
So, in round 6, when you lost, and we have a clip of this. How were you feeling when you knew that you were going to lose and it was going to go into a sudden death round?
What was going through my mind is that I believed in my team. I felt like the alien rounds, for the most part, we kind of lost for ourselves. I didn't feel like so much that we just got taken to, I feel like the mistakes that were made were, or the key engagements that were lost, and the calls that were made were probably just the wrong ones. In a different circumstance, we probably could have won. And I really wasn't worried about it. I don't feel like my team was shaken at all. I feel like we were really hyped up and ready to go into that last round. The morale really wasn't low at all. We were all really positive about the fact that we could take it.
So I'm going to direct this question to each of you. So I'd like to hear what each of you had to say about it. But when you got the GG from Sauna and they gave you the good luck in Germany, tell me a little bit how that felt right in that moment, Bitey.
Well, there's actually one thing that I've been reading this question and I've been thinking about it, and the one thing I remember is Versal asking me, guys, get in there and kill the Hive or make them get off this team. We wanted to see the logo Marines win, and I don't know if this is the exact remembrance of it, but the whole thing about Natural Selection 2 is like you kind of know when you're gonna win. And there's nothing that they can do as long as you keep performing that you're going to keep winning. So it's like, it's just this high that starts building up in your, for me, it was a high in my head. It's like, I'm doing it. I'm really going to do it. Look at this. They can't get out of this stuff. They're just stuck. They're stuck in their hive. I'm just waiting for it. And then, it finally happens. It's like tapping out of the submission hold, really, for this game. It's tapping out because, there is no way out. And then it's just an explosion of, yeah, I did it!
Do you remember in that match where that point was where you started feeling, oh my god, we're going to do it?
It's just, as the Marine team, you win those first few fights and you're like, all right, I'm set. I'm on the coast to start winning. I just have to keep performing as I am now. And the whole thing is we never really dropped back after that, it felt like. We won the first few fights. It's just like, we're on the way to do this, guys. We're on the way to do this. Just watch for any pushes to come through, and the whole thing kind of falls into the bag. And it's just how the game is designed. You kind of get this feeling of when you're going to win. But until they throw that real GG, and then, if you can hear on the stream afterwards, I explode because it's like, I finally realized I'm going to Germany for video games. Something I've never done before, a full paid trip.
Awesome, man. Versal, how were you feeling when you saw that GG?
I almost was in disbelief. I remember as soon as the game actually ended, it wasn't even, I don't think, when the GG was called, because as Bitey said, I'm like, don't take that, because I didn't know if in the rules, when someone calls a GG, if it was over or not. I'm like, you push until they all leave or we kill the Hive. I was reminding everyone to stay focused and to keep playing, because I didn't want any weird surprises to happen. I could just imagine something in my head going off and all of us just being silent and mumble, just wondering what happened, thinking we took the game. And so I was being super serious. And as soon as we won, and we actually won, I think I screamed and mumble like over the microphone. And I remember hearing Bitey too. I don't remember hearing anyone else, but I remember yelling really loud and just being so excited.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that moment was, I'm sure, to be a fly on your wall and so to speak, in your Mumble server would have been quite interesting with all the, the celebrating going on. So, yeah, great job on that, guys, against Sana in round 7. So, moving on to your opponent in Germany, it's going to be Archaea. So, I want to get each of your guys' thoughts, on this in terms of, have you guys been practicing, any strategies, or what resources have you been using to kind of know your enemy? Have you been going over Archaea gameplay like that has been recorded through Twitch channels and on YouTube and stuff like that? So I want to hear from Versal first, since you're the commander. What have you been doing to, kind of get ready as a commander for this match?
I've actually studied a lot of Archaea videos, and whenever we feel like we're going to be against a team that we need to watch out for, I actually go back and watch a lot of their most recent videos and figure out their movements, how they like to do their tech, where they place buildings, where they place drifters, what they like to do when certain situations arrive, how they react when they get pressured. I take all these things into account, and I look for patterns in their gameplay, and I try to figure out how we can adjust that to our team. Maybe not specifically to be, we're going to do exactly this, but to get an idea, because a lot of the time as commander, you're blind. So just to get an idea of what to expect before something happens. And you'd be surprised how often you can predict the movement from an enemy team just by their previous games. So I do a lot of pre-game research.
Awesome. And Bitey, same question.
Well, I don't go always as in-depth as, say, Versal or some other people. Like, in the last 72 hours, I haven't played NS2, but probably for about an hour, and that was about earlier today. The whole thing is I planned my entire last month around accomplishing this one goal of actually getting to Germany. And I actually sent, Versal a text he read over his stream. I didn't know about that till afterward. But my dream was go to Germany. That's part 1 of goal. And I have accomplished this, and I decided I'm taking a break. I am basking in this glow. And then, probably starting around today, I've decided to finally refocus and double the efforts on improving whatever needs to be fixed in order to actually, finally, as it were, beat the boss of NS2 currently.
Do you guys have a particular set of things that you have decided you need to work on for yourself going up to this match?
Interestingly enough, I think our Marine game has gotten a lot more solid, but as a consequence, our Alien game has kind of slumbered, which is what happened to those games right there. And the one thing that I'm really curious about is, with all the patches, balances, and stuff all coming up, it makes it so much harder to really predict what, our opponent's going to be doing when it comes time for the big best of 9 in Germany. It's going to be a challenge. But I think it's something that we're up to do. And we've even lined up a lot of scrimmages with Team G, who you can even ask with later. HG and, the disgruntled Euros who want to see Arc dethroned. Because people like to see the underdog come out ahead.
I can guarantee you'll see some interesting stuff. I'm sure we'll save some things that we're going to use just for the tournament that we'll practice and be maybe a little cheeky with. But I feel like you'll just see a lot of really good play, movement, mechanics, and coordination from our team as we try to work on those going forward.
Awesome. Well, Bitey and Versal from Nexzil, thanks so much for being here and doing this interview. And for our viewers, I wanted to thank Nietzsche as well, man, for helping me out in this interview.
This was an absolute blast. Some really good stuff.
Yeah, and Bitey and Versal, we wish you guys the best of luck in Germany. I'm obviously from the States, so I'm a little bit biased when it comes to saying who I'm going to be for, which I'm going to be rooting for you guys. Also, I'm a big underdog fan. So any team that's just been trouncing everyone up to this point, I'm usually for the one that's the new up and comer. So I really do wish you guys a bunch of luck there.
Thank you. And we'll be repping the American flag at some point. I guarantee somebody's got to buy me an American flag, and I'm going to have it.
All right. Well, folks, that was Bitey and Versal from Team Nexzil, the NSL Invitational Cup semi-final champions, going over to the finals in Cologne, Germany on April 12th, fighting the top team in NS2 right now, Archaea. This has been Red Dog and Nietzsche for REDDOG.TV. Take care and good night.
Hi guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed part 2 of our Nexzil team interview here at REDDOG.TV. I wanted to thank again Bitey and Versal for taking the time out to chat with myself and Nietzsche. Had a great time with you guys, and I wish you guys luck in Cologne, Germany on April 12th against Archaea. And stay tuned, guys, because in the next 24 or 48 hours, or probably by the time you're watching this, Arkea's interview with REDDOG.TV will be coming out as well. We should have a two-parter for that, just like this one. So if it's not out yet, just wait a little bit and it will be out soon. So hope you enjoyed what you saw here today, and I'll catch you later, guys.